Hi guys, we're in the last segment of the show. We're going to talk a little bit about what we do, which is the real estate business, and hopefully have some good fun talking about that. But before we start, we want to let you know that if you're looking to buy or sell your home or have any question concerning the real estate, we'd love to help you. So call the Johnson Smith team at 520-904-7711.
520-373-6864.
Or 520-850-1725.
All right, you're here with the show with Raymond, Danielle, and Sandra.
So we also wanted to just briefly talk a little bit about the listings that we have available. We do have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Corona Day, Tucson. It is 2,330 square feet. This home qualifies for USDA financing. We have talked a little bit with John Spur at Inspired Life Mortgage about the USDA financing here on the show, because you can actually purchase a home with no down payment through the USDA program.
And I'm going to just jump in to say I am surprised how many people don't realize that there are options like that available, and that if you're currently renting, if you're paying what rents are going for these days, you can afford a house payment. The question is just whether or not you're going to invest into a home or you're going to invest into your landlord's pocket.
Good
right.
point.
We actually were talking about that this morning before we left the house, because with inflation and the cost of goods, the egg jokes are just flying around all over all the time. I think Raymond said last time he went to the grocery store, he saw eggs at $9 a dozen.
And I ran away from that section.
And we're going to paint potatoes instead of eggs for Easter.
Right. So really one of the things you can do to stay within your budget is to control your living expenses. And so having a mortgage instead of paying rent is one of the things that is a long-term way of controlling those living expenses. And so we truly believe in home ownership, or we wouldn't do what we do.
Right. And the other thing is that a lot of people, I believe, is that one of the things that seems to be that holds them up is they don't have enough money for down payment, and they're worried about the down payment. But there are all kinds of, there's down payment assistance, there's the FHA with a certain percentage you can put down, there's the VA, which has a zero down, there's also the USDA that has zero down. So there's so many programs out there, but you don't know just by sitting there and thinking about whether I can do this or not. You have to go there and find a lender. We recommend John Spur of Inspired Life Mortgage, and go to him, and he'll be able to find what you're looking for and let you know whether you have we call buying power.
Right. So on the home that we were just talking about, that one is located at 710 East Blue Mesa Place, and it's got a really nice open floor plan, a large kitchen. It is range price now between $400,000 and $415,000. View fencing on the back side, so you really don't have anybody behind you. Great views.
Yes.
It just, when you walk in the door, it just feels light and bright and wonderful.
And inviting.
So it does.
Yeah.
It does. The previous owner just really loved the home, and it shows. It shows in how well it was taken care of. The other property that we have is 7537 South Carver Lane, and that is in Academy Village. Danielle gave us kind of an overview of Academy Village last week.
Yeah, you heard us talking about that, and I am going to say that is one of the coolest places I have ever seen, and I really wish I was 55 or older so that I could live there, because it is amazing and full of activity and absolutely one of the most beautiful communities I've ever seen.
And you've just had great interactions with the people that you've met there, and just a welcoming place. That is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 940 square feet. And it also has view fencing in the back and some wonderful mountain views, but just a very nice place to call home. So that is it for our seller needs right now. But we also attended a class this week that was on land fraud. So we wanted to talk a little bit about fraud in real estate. And for the last few years, we have had fraud warnings with every transaction we do.
Right.
So those have been really related primarily to buyers that are buying. And the scenario is that someone will have their email address hacked, and a hacker will get a hold of not only their contact information, but maybe they've got everyone who's involved in the transaction, real estate agents, title companies, and they will mimic an email. They sit and wait for an opportunity to jump in and ask for money to be wired to an account. So once money is wired, it's pretty much gone. It's very difficult to get back. And that's wire fraud, the way that we've, been warned about it over the last several years. And so we typically will tell buyers, if you don't have to wire money, just don't do it, because you can bring in a cashier's check. When you come into closing, those are certified funds. And so you can bring that in and you're able to close on your transaction. So we discourage wiring at all, just in case. There are people that knew they've been warned. They're familiar with the scenarios that are out there, but because they're expecting that email, they don't think anything of it when the email comes.
Right.
And so they kind of have a sense of where your transaction is. If they follow it, they're sitting silently following. And so we always recommend to our clients, if you can avoid wiring funds, just avoid it. But this week, we were in a class at Pioneer Title Agency, and they were talking about land fraud, which is, I think, more of an emerging problem than what we've seen in the past.
Right. And I think what they said to me is that you don't see it much on property, because property, most people on homes, you want to see that home.
Right.
You want to go and take a look inside, or have somebody say, hey, this is what this 3-bedroom and 2-bath looks like. I want to go inside and look at it. When it comes to land, you're just going to drive by it. You're not going to really pay attention to what else is around it. So you don't really know who actually owns that property, or if the property's there. And
it could be a for sale by owner piece of land. It also could be a piece of land that has been listed for sale with an agent. And like Raymond was saying, you may just be, hey, I'll just go drive by this and take a look at it and ready to write an offer at that point.
And so we had to sit there, and with this class was really, really interesting. And what I went, it talked about the risk. And so to me, it was just making sure that you, as a buyer or as a seller, that you pay attention to the risk. You pay attention to the emails that you're getting. Look at the syntax. Look at the spelling. Look at the grammar. And if the grammar doesn't sound right, it's probably not. And one thing it always said, if you have any question, just call the escrow officer or call your agent. One of us will tell you what the process needs to do, because once what they're doing is that they're asking you to send the money, or you were told to wire money at a certain account, and then they call you back and say, hey, you know what, we changed the account number to this. If you don't understand why they changed the account, call your escrow officer. Hey, did you just send me an email saying to change the account? And if they say, yes, I sent you, this should be dated so-and-so, then that gives you confidence to do that. What they're saying is they make sure you take that one extra step, because once that money is transferred, it's gone. Because they were talking about the fact that the account with the bank on the other side looking at, not looking at who picks up the money, just making sure that the account that you're sending money to is going to an account that they have. As long as the accounts match, that's all that matters, and the money is gone. So you need to be really, really careful when you're doing that. And we're not here, the whole idea of this segment is not to scare you, but to remind you and to keep you aware and keep it in the back of your mind when you're going through this process. You're also going through a home process, and going through a home, you don't want something like this to sit there and affect you.
Yeah, and I think what the going back to the fact that the land is much easier to commit fraud on, because there isn't someone that has to be there to give you access to it. One of the things that the title company that had the class, Pioneer Title, said that they're starting to do is that they send letters to the landowner, because what happens is somebody is impersonating them and they're listing the property for sale or claiming to be that person. They probably have a fake ID that has the correct name on it, but they are impersonating the seller. And so one of the things that they're doing is that they are sending letters to the address on the tax records to make sure that that landowner knows that someone is trying to sell the land.
Yeah.
And so that may be a letter that even if you were to receive, you might dismiss it because you think that that the letter is the scam. But I think it's really important that you read those things and reach out to,
title company,
whoever the title company is.
I would say too, this is a really good reminder of how important it is to trust your agent. Whoever you're working with, you need to make sure you're working with a real estate agent who is going to do that research for you and who's going to warn you of things that can come up, keep you in the loop on everything, and who's going to be available to answer those questions so that if you do start to wonder, hey, I haven't seen this name before,
right?
Yeah,
you can call your real estate agent and say, I don't know if this is legit. I don't know if I should be sending this. And that real estate agent will go and make sure that it is the right person.
So we
don't
have necessarily the tools that they have at Title. They're actually they're investing in software that is doing all the investigations on IP addresses and scanning IDs. I mean, they actually have systems in place because the fraud is so good that you have to have the tools to be able to catch it.
To counter,
So anyway, and you're right. You want to be connected to the right agent, to the right title company. You want to make sure that somebody is really digging into those things because there are a lot of people out there working really hard to take money from you. So we are down to the last few seconds here of the show. We would like to thank our sponsors that make this possible every week. That's Horizon Inspections, Indy Realty, Inspired Life Mortgage, Rigo Pest Prevention, love you, Rigo, Pioneer Title Agency, and we have a new sponsor coming on, Caring Transitions. We should be hearing from them in a couple weeks. So we hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we thank you for being here with us on the I Am Real Estate Show.